Hey guys, it's Evan with Evan K Exotics, and today I'm going to do something I try not to do, and that's to talk about something political or governmental, and I try to keep the global politics and national politics off this page, but this matters to animals and to native animals and to endangered animals. So I want to talk about something that's happening with Endangered Species Act today, and to hopefully keep myself out of the influence of how I'm explaining this, I'm going to try to use ChatGPT to explain to you what's going on. Hey Siri, please use ChatGPT to explain what happened to the Endangered Species Act on April 16, 2025.
On April 16, 2025, the Trump administration proposed changes to the Endangered Species Act, ESA, aiming to redefine harm to exclude habitat modification, thereby reducing protections for endangered species habitats. Environmental groups argue this could lead to increased habitat destruction and accelerate species extinction rates. The proposal is open for public comment for 30 days, with potential legal challenges anticipated. That was from ChatGPT. Check important info for mistakes.
There you go. That's what ChatGPT said. So basically what's happening is the Trump administration is proposing the removal of restrictions on land development in areas that are known to have endangered species. So as you guys know, one of the biggest threats to native animals and to animals as a whole is land development and loss of habitat and fragmentation of habitat. And one of the most powerful things that the Endangered Species Act does is it protects lands where endangered and threatened species are known to live. And what the presidential administration is proposing is that we remove some of those barriers to development of land. And guys, this basically is this is what will lead to photos of a Florida gopher tortoise walking through a bulldozed new land development. And that's basically what we're talking about. We're talking about taking land that's very important, that's limited and been fragmented and been lost, and there are very few little pockets where these animals can still exist. And the presidential administration is proposing that we allow development in those areas where these endangered species are. And that is just something that's going to really accelerate the decline of native endangered species. So that is just something that I will tell you that I am against, is the easier development in areas that are natural habitats for threatened and endangered species. And I will also tell you guys that there's actually a little example in Maine, where I live, that's already come to pass. And I will tell you that in Maine, there has been whispers of the existence of an eastern cougar, a mountain lion in Maine, forever. And I personally believe they've existed. I've known they've existed for quite a while. And the official government line was always, there are no cougars, there are no eastern mountain lions in Maine. And that's in the face of many credible sightings. And then something interesting happened about 5-7 years ago. The government declared that there is no such thing as an eastern cougar and a western cougar. There's only one type of cougar. And so now, any cougar that existed in Maine is no longer an endangered eastern cougar. It is just on the outer limits of the range of the cougar, the American mountain lion. So if that makes sense to you, they declassified it specially, and so it's no longer an endangered species conglomerated with this more common species where they allow hunting and things in certain states. So basically it no longer was protected under law, and therefore if it existed in an area, it was no longer a barrier to land development. And lo and behold, as soon as that change happened, the Maine IF&W acknowledged a credible sighting of a cougar in an area that's being developed for power line transmission. So tell me that land development and monetary interests don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to endangered species, and I'll laugh in your face. But that's just what's going to happen, is you're going to see, as soon as that there are endangered species protections removed, you're going to see development in areas where there are endangered species, and that is bad for endangered species. And that's just what I'd like to tell you guys. This is an Argentine boa. There's CITES 1 from Argentina. They're endangered species. Basically, national, non-US animals won't be affected by this because they're already affected by international trade laws. But anything that is native to America could be impacted, and their wild population could be impacted by that. So that's just what I'm putting out there for you. I hope that makes sense. Take care. Bye-bye.